Okay, it's 2006 again, and we have Acceleracers news. Who's hyped for Acceleracers 5 after that cliffhanger? No, but really. Alright, so this here you've already seen, most likely. This is stuff that's been around for over a decade, probably as long as Acceleracers has been around. This was all stuff that was presented, I think it was a Mattel Toy Fair or something, or was going to be presented, and this was going to lead us into Acceleracers 5 and a new toy line and all this stuff that came with figures. How cool is this idea for figures? But they look like crap, don't they? But that's alright. What we have is real new stuff from 2006. Alright, so if I just click on here, we had this, the transforming car was a concept. So the car would transform and your little character figurine would sit inside it. It'd be like a mech suit. Yep, that was apparently the plan. Right, that was apparently something that they had planned, according to this, German promotion material that we have had for a long time. But anyway, I said there's new stuff, and there is new stuff. So, Birdfan has put this up. Apparently, it's from a 2006 Mattel magazine, and somehow no one has dug up any of the information from it for the last 15 years. So we're going to have a look at it. It has all been posted on Reddit. Go check it out yourself. Again, it's not me that's found this. I wanted to talk about it because it's not just the new stuff I want to talk about. I also want to talk about just general issues or general thoughts on it. So we have here some sort of contraption. I don't know what this is. It's ugly. Apparently this center part here is a car that launches out. Are the wheels part of that? Did the wheels lift up to launch the car? We have one here as well. It's the same thing, but this is an Acceleron version, right? So we have one Acceleron one and one drone one. I'm fighting a sneeze. That's why I'm touching my nose a lot. I'm just trying not to sneeze because I don't want to do that. So it's got information, which is cool. So hyper launches are the things here. So it's hyperpods, but they're launches. I genuinely don't understand how they meant to launch anything because there's a button to launch it, right? But there's wheels in the way. Again, this is meant to drive around as well, but why am I? They could have removed this, right? They didn't need this there. It just seems like it's in the way. Maybe it lifts up to look. Or maybe the car just is a ramp and it yeets into the air. Who knows? Insane Speed with standalone Acceleron's vehicles. So it's Acceleron's vehicle. The drones have their own version as well. Compatible with all the transforming accelerators. So transforming accelerators was the thing that was actually coming. Comes in 2 decos, which is the 2 that we've seen. Works with all transforming accelerators, vehicles, plus characters and weapons. Why? What? Weapons? When were weapons part of accelerators? Or transforming cars? Oh, it's less than ideal. On here we've got some pictures of just some new Acceleracers decals that we were getting. I feel like this was the one for the card game. I'm not 100% sure, I don't have it. But the 8 reminds me of the one for the card game. I'm not sure otherwise. And then there's just this random image of some Acceleracers cars. I don't know why they'd even include this. Like, Bird fan that's uploaded it, why even include this? I understand it's part of the promotional material that was in this magazine, but it's nothing new. We didn't really need it for the post. This stuff, though, we've seen this before, but we haven't seen it in this sort of detail, right? It was just some, photos, not an actual scan for the magazine. So we got, now you can collect your favourite characters and vehicles as seen in the entertainment. So we can get these characters, right? They've got bendable knees, bendable here, waist, not waist, legs. Legs is the word. Looks like their heads move, and shoulders and elbows. Their hands seem their hands are holding things at all times. And you can put weapons in their hands, which is really weird. Alright, Marky here is on some sort of like high-powered skateboard. I'm not sure how this would function. What are the wheels attached to for it to move? Based on the design I'm seeing here, these wheels wouldn't move, but even if it's in the movie, how do the wheels move? We got Benji here. Someone squished his head before they took the photo. They've just gone squish and just crushed that face. These look like absolute shit. Even for 2006, these look like just garbage. And I get that they look a bit weird in the movie, but they look so much worse here. These action figures look like crap. I can't be nice about it. They're just awful, awful, awful. Compatible with transforming vehicles from the 2006 Acceleracers product line. Racing, battling, and crashing action. Crazy. Crazy. So we've got some more here. We've got Vert with some sort of like glider. It fires a missile. This is like those modernized hoverboardy things that aren't actually hoverboards. We got a Kadeem. So Kadeem was definitely confirmed to come back, which is fine. We needed someone to take over drones with Galorum dead, so Kadeem would come back as the drone leader. And again, they fire these missiles. I'm pretty sure Action Man had these exact missiles. Or am I thinking of... No, it was Action Man. And G.I. Joe had them too. But Action Man, I'm pretty sure, had these exact green ones, and like Dr. Gangrene would fire them out of his gun. Oh, there was like a Gatling gun, and as you turned it, it would fire these exact sort of missiles. This would obviously fire as well. And then this doesn't do anything, it just looks like a weapon, a gun of some sort, space age gun. Strange that they're doing all this. Then there was this. This I love. Kind of. Alright, a lot of people have been like, this is the most boring and basic crap. Yeah, it's a Hot Wheels track. A lot of them are. Especially back in 2006, they did release a lot of like really bland things. The cool part though is the Metro Realm truck is connected to the motor. So you'll launch through what looks to be the Storm Realm. Aha. Huh. That's just a loop. It loops infinitely, right? And then you've got to, like, I don't know, hit a switch or something to lift this section up so that the car can actually come out. And the cars will come in and just keep getting in a loop. That I like that. I don't think I've seen that, except for, like, the rotating one, the set that just keeps spinning. So it's good to see it here. I think the Acceleracers probably does it too. But yeah, so the Metro Realm truck, they were actually releasing a Metro Realm truck, which is something I really would love to add to my collection. It was going to rotate in the opposite direction, slam your cars off the track, which is super cool. We got a little bit of Metro Realm buildings here just as part of it, just decoration. They got this little bit of swamp track here, and that makes absolutely no sense. There's no reason for that. You could have just made this all Metro Realm, but unfortunately they wanted to add in a bit of Storm Realm, bit of Swamp Realm, bit of Metro Realm, all in the wrong order, and it looks like the car it was going to come with is Baseline, based on the fact that we can see a little bit of Baseline just here. Look, I would have loved this product, but realistically, beyond the spinny truck, it's a pretty mediocre product. Hopefully it would have been a cheap one at least. Then we had some cars. This is the last of it all, so it's a somewhat quicker video. We had these cars coming in, and these two transform. So like the image we have for the Silencer's car that transforms that Vert was supposed to be in, these will also transform. But they look like crap. I suppose this one transforms too. This one has nothing it could transform into because it's just a motorbike. This one obviously is a weird looking motorbike, so it will probably transform. But they look like absolute dog water. There's just... If they were trying to release these as products that people would enjoy... I like that they finally went with red wheels for Metal Maniacs. That's something they should have done from the start. But this is just awful. The wheels look so bad. I don't even know what the shadowy stuff around them is. I think it's just part of the decoration and stuff. in the magazine, I guess, just to make it look better than just cars on white. But yeah, these look abysmal. And I am so glad that they cancelled this series. Because if this is what they were going to do with Acceleracers, I don't want to. Like, these heads look wrong. Like, Torque's head's on point. Marky's just weird looking. Porkchop's pretty accurate, but this Banshee is awful. This Wild is awful. Awful. What is up with Vert's eyes? It's just, this was such low quality product, and with the way their legs are just bulky and weird shaped, they wouldn't have done anything except stand there. They were glorified collector's items. And they were going to change everything about Acceleracers. So the fact that they cancelled it is actually one of the best things they could have done, because they were going to ruin this series. And I'm so glad that we can be here 15 years later and go, man, how good was that series? And I wish they had continued it, rather than, man, that series went to shit, I wish they had cancelled it. Which you get now, right? You got your Ruby fans that are like, man, they should have cancelled that series like 5 years ago, more than. Lost. Man, we wish that had have ended around season 2. And then we've got this here, and this is the opposite side of the spectrum. This is a series that ended before it could be ruined. And I think that's a good thing. And I really hope that... Sorry. I really hope that Mattel does reboot this series. I really do. But I want them to step back, think about it, maybe even talk to the community. Look, we are getting ever closer to Mattel recognizing... Mattel has recognized that there is a huge fan base for this. Thousands of people want this to come back and want to start over. Do a hard reboot. Start it all from the start. But speak to the community. There's a lot of people that have done their own fan projects. Speak to them. They've got ideas. Don't take every idea. Some of you have terrible ideas. I'm sorry. Dan Dresden and Alec Wood died in the realms. Accept it. They shouldn't also be drones. If every single character comes back as drones like Banshee, not drones, silencers like Banshee did, that's just not good writing. That is the same story, the same plot for 3 guys. Alec Wood doesn't deserve to come back as a silencer because he's a terrible driver. He shouldn't have been in the world race. And the fact that Tesla recruited him for anything, it's a miracle that he would get out alive. If he died in the realms, that's a fitting way for a terrible character to go. Fix Banshee's head, please. I just don't even have to, like, do an animated series again. I understand that that is expensive. Give us, like, a video game or a comic. The comics were a great idea. Much lower budget. Or just gives the cars and then, like, just release the cars again, or release more cars with those libraries and stuff. Give us the Diora in the Teku vehicles. But I think the main thing that the community wants is a game. If you give the Acceleracers community a game, just an Acceleracers game that has the realms and all that sort of stuff, people will be happy. And there's so many fan projects that have been started to do this that just, if they had funding, they'd work. Like, I don't know. Mattel really did everything right with Hot Wheels Unleashed. Or almost everything, anyway. And hopefully it's enough... There's enough of this positive feedback from the Acceleracers community for them to go, alright, let's do this. Let's make this game because it's popular. And if they make it right, that's good. And yeah, release the toy line. I mean, Acceleracers toy line. Not this. This is garbage, right? This is just absolute crap. Do not give us action figures of the characters. It sounds cool. Maybe a Lego series of them would be great, right? But these disproportionate bodies make for terrible toys. This is an exhaust pipe that looks like it may fire missiles. It has like something here that moves, right? Which means it's got to be attached to something. Why? It's terrible. 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 This was awful. This was a bad idea and I'm glad they cancelled it. This... seems like it was a good idea. Honestly, it's fine. If they fit real Hot Wheels cars in it, it'd be great. But the action figures were a terrible idea. The transforming cars look like crap, and transforming into people. If we go back to this one, transforming into like fight suits, abysmal. If I want that, I'll just play Transformers. Or go collect Transformers. I don't want Transformers. I don't want cars that are not put together. Like, this has got, like, it's all falling apart. These would age and break and fall to pieces in no time at all. And that's not good. And how big does this have to be to fit one of these monstrosities in it? Like, he doesn't look like he would fit in there that well, but these are pretty big. As we saw with, like, this stuff, they're a decent size. They'd have to be. Anyway, that's the end of my 15 minutes of ranting. Yeah, I would love to see Acceleracers come back, but I don't want to see these dodgy-looking action figures. Like, based on the size of the missiles, you can kind of guess how big they'd be, which is your standard, like, little G.I. Joe or Star Wars figures in size. Maybe a little bit bigger, but they're awkward sizes, they're awkward shapes, so I don't see them fitting into cars very well. It just genuinely seems like it was all round a bad idea, and it's a good thing that it failed. But in future, I would love to see, what has Nolo got? What are these? What are they? And like, these obviously don't stand on their own because they got blue tack under their feet to hold them up. Why not just make them stand on their own? So yeah, this is what we were looking at as Acceleracers 5 Plus, and it was terrible. Mattel could really do better, and it won't surprise me if they do nothing ever. I expect them to do nothing ever, but things lately have been promising for the community as far as some sort of reboot. So either a hard reboot or a soft reboot or just something. It doesn't have to be Accelerators. It can just be something as good as, right? Something about those cars was just great. They were just, the teams were really good and original. The characters were kind of cool, I guess. And the movies were objectively bad because they were ads. They weren't movies. As ads, they were great. But it has a cult following, and Mattel can capitalize on that. I guess maybe they understand that it's probably not going to sell as much as the Acceleracers community thinks it is, and I kind of agree with that. But it doesn't mean don't do anything with it. Come on. We've got people that pay over $200 for these stupid things. You think you're not going to be able to sell product to those people? Crazy. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This stuff's cool. Shame it's 21 years or 15 years late. And apparently there is more of it to see, just not much more. So we'll keep an eye out. Keep an eye on the Reddit. Thanks again to the wrong way Bird Fan for finding this. It's really cool stuff. Toodaloo, and also follow me on Twitter if you've got this far into the video.